Okay, today what I'd like to do is talk a little bit how you can extend an existing line that you already have going. So I'm going to use the pen tool here, and let's pretend that I have started a little bit of a drawing, and I've gotten some of it done on one day, or at any rate, that's as far as I've gotten. I'm going to take the fill off and just make it on the stroke here. So I'm going to switch that. So we just have a black line, no fill. And I have that part done. Not very good, but it's started, and I want to finish the whole drawing. Well, the first thing is it's off here to the side. So I'm going to move the entire thing over to give me room to finish it. And so I'm going to use the black arrow or selection tool, clicking on the line so I can move it. Now, just for comparison, if I instead used the white arrow or direct selection tool and wanted to move it, if I clicked on it, it's going to do that because it's only selecting a line segment. It's not selecting the entire object. So to select the entire object, to move it, to resize it, to flip it, rotate, or whatever, I have to use the black. Oh, sorry, I don't have it. Here we go. To select that whole object so I can move it over. Okay, so what I want to do now is continue this line. And the way that I do that, if I take the pen tool, and notice let's zoom in a little. Okay. And if I have the pen tool and come out here, you can hopefully you can see this tiny, tiny little star or asterisk that shows up with that pen nib tool. It's just slightly to the right and below the pen nib. I'm hoping you can see that here in the video. When I move that pen nib close to the line and I get close to the end point of the line, notice that little star asterisk disappears and is replaced by this little diagonal line. That's the signal that I am directly on top of that point. So I'm going to click on it. And then now, since I have the pen tool, and I can come out here and click and drag and click and drag and continue that line. And I can come all the way back around to here. But let's say again, that's as far as I got, and I need to continue this or join it together. And so again, I'm going to repeat exactly what I did a minute ago. I'm going to get the pen tool. I'm going to approach the end point, click on it, then click down, and then I'm going to get something like that. When I get back to, so now I've gone almost all the way around, right? Not a great person's head, but I've gone all the way around. And when I approach the endpoint now, notice that little icon changes to a tiny, tiny little circle. That circle is the signal that says I am completing the path. I've gone all the way around it, like a circle is a complete all the way around. So that's what it's doing. I clicked there, and now, in fact, I do have a line that's going all the way around. And so anything I do to part of the line here, let's say if I changed its color to something else, and let's make the weight bigger so that you can see that. It's doing it to the entire line, not just a part of it, because it, in fact, is a complete line. Okay? Now let's do the opposite. So that was adding to a partial line. What if we wanted to cut the line so that we could do something else to it? So I'm going to, what do I want to do with this guy's head? I guess I'm going to change it so that he's got a baseball cap on. So I could do this in a bunch of ways, but for the sake of this little demo, I'm going to actually cut this line and then add the cap to it as if it was all one line. The cap and the head is all one line. So I select the line with or select the object, I should say, with the selection tool. And now you need to know ahead of time that there are 3 different cutting tools in Illustrator, and they each do quite different things. So the first one is this one that looks like an X-Acto knife blade down there. That's a slice tool, and it is used specifically and only for slicing up an image as if you were going to put it in a website. And you are doing the, sorry, not just place it in a website, but you're designing the website. So that's what the slice tool is for. It's not what we want here. Behind the eraser tool are the 2 other ones. There's the scissors tool and the knife tool. So the knife tool is also very, very specific to some things. It, in fact, cuts shapes, solid shapes. We'll talk about that later. For right now, though, the one we want is a scissors tool, and that is used to cut a line. So that knife that other option in here, this serrated knife thing, that's for slicing through a filled shape, and the scissors are for cutting a line. So that's what we want. I'm going to click on the line now where I think I want the cap to be. So I'm going to click right there. I don't want to click on a point. That's something that maybe seems like what you would want to do, but you actually don't want to click on a point. So we're clicking anywhere else on the line. So I've clicked there. I'm also going to click over here. And then now if I go back to the black selection tool, which before when I clicked anywhere on this line selected the entire object. Now if I click on it, it doesn't. In fact, I've cut this part of his head off. So that part is now gone because I now want to add to this line and put on a baseball cap. So now it's kind of similar to what we were doing earlier. I come over here close to this point on here. I click, and I think I'm going to go out just, again, this is not going to be a great cap, but I think that we'll get the idea. So I'm going to come around here like this, and I think I'm going to come down here and go out and back. And so again, with any of this, we would go back and move the points, adjust them, all of those kind of things. So we've done that in an earlier demonstration. I'm not going to spend time on doing that same thing here, but other than to just show that's what we would do at this point. At any rate, we have now cut the first initial line, and then we have added back to it to extend that line. So we have now one outline of a person's head, including a cap that wasn't there in the first place. Okay.